someone who is a part-time assistant manager at a retail store who makes $10.50 an hour. This person is doing extra work and going above and beyond a minimum wage worker in order to make this amount of money. President Barack Obama and the federal government want to raise the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. Is it fair to have greater authority over the associates in a store and only be getting paid 40 cents more? Spending my last year working a minimum wage job, I realized the level of difficulty of work I do versus the level of difficulty of work the managers do. I also realized how unfair it would be for me to be making so much money for easy work while my managers are doing above and beyond work for the store to be the best it can be. The government should abstain from raising the minimum wage. If the wage is raised, wage inequality, job loss, and inflation will all occur. Workers face many disadvantages when the wage is increased. Wage inequality has a negative effect on workers in the economy. Wages have fluctuated strongly since 2003, causing an uneven distribution of wealth. Lawrence Mitchell, author of The State of Working America, says that because of this fluctuation, high school graduates, college graduates, and median workers are affected the most. As the wage increased each time, low-wage workers continued to get pay raises while mid-wage workers were left with the same pay. Income inequality affects a person's way of life. Raising the minimum wage would help restore the value of the true minimum wage, which has not been in line with inflation in the last 40 years, according to Mitchell, and would lower the gap between the high class and the low class. These would be considered positive reasons to raise the wage, but even though the gap will be reduced, the middle class has no room to flourish and progress, causing an even bigger problem with wage inequality. So in the end, raising minimum wage would do more harm than good. If the minimum wage were to be increased, more severe consequences will happen to workers. Increasing the minimum wage results in job loss across the nation. Businesses only get a certain amount of money for their payroll, which is the budget to give workers their paychecks. So if the federal government was to increase the minimum wage, the amount of workers would be decreased to keep within this payroll budget. People in the workplace would be left with two options. One, to either quit because they are not working enough hours, or two, be let go because there is not enough money left in the budget to keep them around. Because of the increase of minimum wage, the unemployment rate would increase dramatically. According to Andrew Hansen and Zachary Hawley, published authors in the Journal of Labor Research, anywhere from 550,000 to 1.5 million jobs would be lost. The unemployment rate would not decrease again for years to come. The entire country would face trouble if the federal government decides to raise the minimum wage. The most severe effect of raising the minimum wage is inflation. Increasing the wage would only increase the total income of minimum wage workers if labor is inelastic, which it is not, according to Russell Sobel, published author in the Journal of Political Economy. Once prices raise enough after people receive the increase in wage, the economy will be right back to where it was before the wage was raised, except for the fact that everything will be more expensive, which was stated in the article called Minimum Wages by Barbara Mantell. Mantell later goes on to say that people who live in poverty and work a minimum wage job could never break free from poverty because of the poverty line being so low. Because of wage inequality, job loss, and inflation, the current minimum wage of $7.25 an hour should not be increased. Proper preparation is required, but people can also learn and need to learn to survive off the money they earn.